Before moving to the concept of method overriding, let's do minor correction in our program. So here in the program that I have done minor mistake. Let me do the correction. That here this should be like this. Okay, it is that not tenure minus one, but it is tenure. Okay, so I'm just going to put this thing in the bracket. Okay. Now it should give the correct output. So let me save this and let me run the main function. So I'm here in the main function and let me run it. So here it is giving us the correct output that the first one is a 60,000 somewhere. Then the next one 61,000, then 56,000, 33,000 kind of. Okay, so we are done with the method overloading. Now we are going to see another concept called method overloading. This is what we are going to see now. Okay, so let me give you the example of the method overriding first. Okay, so let's go to our code, and in this code that let me go to the bank.java, and here that I'm going to write one function to set the interest rate. Okay, as we know that every bank has different interest rate. Okay, so what I'm going to do that I'm going to create a function that is set interest rate. This is the function which we have. So what will happen that this function could be called to set the interest rate, and whatever interest rate will be passed as an argument that would be assigned to over here, right? So remember this thing that we have implemented this method set interest rate in the bank superclass. Now suppose there is a bank called SBI. Obviously that SBI would have its own interest rate, right? So in the SBI also, we can create a similar method that is set interest rate. Okay, the same method which we have created over here, that is interest rate. Okay, interest rate. Okay, with the argument. Okay, let me check that do I have any function? Yes, we have that function interest rate. Okay, and here I'm just going to write that like float interest rate. Okay, and let me write the curly braces over here. Now here I'm getting the error. Let me see that why I'm getting this error. It says that I'm getting the error, that is that SBI classifies the net interest rate in the bank attempting to assign weaker access privilege. Okay, so what is the issue here? You can see that this method is declared as a public, and obviously this has to be declared as public, and this is one of the rule of method overriding. Now let's try to understand this, what the method overriding is. So in the subclass, we are having a method called set interest rate. Similar method we are having in the superclass also, set interest rate with the same argument. Okay, with the same argument in both of the cases. This is known as the method overriding. Okay, so now you should understand this thing that the method overriding comes in the picture when you are having a parent-child relationship, and if the parent and child both are having a same function with the same signature. Okay, that means the same number of argument and same written type, then you can say it is a method overriding. Okay, so here in this case, suppose that consider that this is the RBI guideline. Okay, so as per the RBI guideline, there would be some interest rate, but individual banks would have different interest rate. Okay, so that could be set whenever the object of bank would be created, or with the object of bank created. Okay, so here that my statement would be this dot interest rate is equal to interest rate, like this. Okay, right? Similarly, if I have one more object, that is, let's say ICICI. Okay, so here in the ICICI, that we may have the similar kind of variables, right? That is also possible. Okay, so right? And I can have the same like function to set the interest rate. Okay, so void set interest rate. Okay, and the type that is float. Okay, interest rate. Okay, and here we are going to set it, that is set this dot interest rate is equal to new interest rate. Okay, and we are going to extend the class called bank. Okay, so here you can see as per this hierarchy, that this is the overridden method, that interest rate is the overridden method. So here that I must have to specify public. Okay, now if I will show you the diagram of the class hierarchy, right, let me show you. So here you can see that the bank is a super class and the ICICI and SBI both are the child class. So okay, so that is what you can see over here, right? Okay, so this is called method overriding. So now let's see the rules of the method overriding. So the first rule of the method overriding is that the argument list must exactly match that the overridden method. That is what we have done over here. That here in the ICICI, I forgot to put the semicolon. Yeah. So here the argument is a float, type of float. Similar argument that we have in the parent class is what? It is also float, right? What is the second one? The return type must be same as or subtype of the return type declared in the original. Yeah. So we have the similar return type, that is void in both of the cases, right? Okay. The return type must be same as or the subtype of the return type declared in the original method in the superclass. Okay. The access level can't be more restrictive than that of the overridden method. So guys, this error is basically that if you are declaring the same method in the subclass, then the access type should not be weaker. So if I remove the public from here, so this would be considered as a weaker access type, because that in the parent class it is public, so you cannot make it weaker in the subclass. Okay, so here the access type is which one? It is a default type. Okay, that is a special access type in the Java. Okay, so you must have to specify the same access type over here, that is public. Okay, next one, that the access level can be less restrictive than the overridden method. That is also like suppose if in the parent class, like here, suppose if you are removing public. Okay, that means here now you have access type that is default. Okay, so in the subclass what you can do, either you can keep the same one that is a default like this, or you can higher level of access, that is the public. Okay, so that is the meaning of this statement. The next one, that instance method can be overridden only if they are inherited by subclass. So as I told you that there must be a relationship between the parent class and the child class. Okay, then and then that overriding exists, otherwise not. Okay, next one is that a subtype within a same package as the instance sub supertype can override any supertype method that is not marked private or final. So it says that suppose you, if you are having two different packages, right, and in that also let me show you that suppose if I'm creating one more package over here, and in Java we, to create a package, just I have to write like this. Let's say that the package name is my package. I have created some other package, right, and inside that suppose if I'm creating a Java class called, let's say, SDFC. Okay, and here let's extend that bank. Okay, so this is also possible, right? And here you can specify, I must have to import the package, right? Then and then this would be accessible. And here also I can do the same thing which I have done with the ICICI, that I'm going to paste it over here. So this is also possible, that the overriding can be across the classes which are there in the different package. So bank class is declared Bank class is declared inside the package called org.example, whereas the SDFC class is declared inside the my package, right? So that also that overriding is possible. Next one is that subtype in a different package can override only those non-final methods marked public or protected, right? Okay, so suppose if you mark that method other than public or protected, then it is not possible. Okay, so let me show you that suppose inside the bank, if I mark this method as a private, then now here in the HDFC it is not possible to like override it, right? So here you can see that I have marked it as a private. Okay. Okay, so here there should be a correction that it should be a private, public, or protected. Means any access specifier, then it is going to work, right? As we have done over here, right? So even though it is marked as a private, right? We can override it in the subclass, right? But the only difference is that if I mark it as a final, obviously that means that you are making it constant. So now here you will get the error that this is not possible, right? The way it says that there is a problem, right? What's the problem? That the method is marked as a final, so it should not be overridden. Remember that once the method is marked as a final, then the method will not be overridden by another class or the child class. The overriding method can throw any checked exception and regardless of whether the overridden method declares the exception. This we will see later on. The overriding method must not throw the check exception that are new or broader than those declared by the overridden method. This also we are going to discuss when we will see the exception. And you cannot override a method mark final. Just we have seen like here we had marked method final, right? It is showing the error. Okay, so the error is are what, that the methods are used somewhere else as a as an overriding method. Okay, and you cannot override the method which is marked static. Okay, so you can just override the method which are the instance method, not a static method. Okay, now the next question would be that how to call the superclass method even though if we are using overriding method. Okay, so let me show you. First let me correct the code here. I'm just removing this. Okay, now suppose if I want to call the set interest rate method of the parent class, there is a bank from HDFC. What I can do, I can take the help of the super keyword like this. That suppose if I want to call the method of the super class, then I will write like that: super dot set rate. Okay, right? You can call the method like this. Now here it is showing me the error. Why it is showing me the error? Let me show you. The reason is that here it says that it is not a public method in the bank. Okay, so I must have to mark this method as a public. Then and then I can access the method from outside the package. So I have marked this as a public. Okay, right? Now let me go back to the this one, and here now you can see that I can pass some value. Let's say that let me pass the interest rate from here. Okay, now here I'm able to call the method which is declared there in the superclass. Okay, so this is all about the method overriding. That's it for this video.